G'day guys, what's going on? Superbro here, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be going over the highest ceiling players from 2024 and asking ChatGPT who these guys are. If you haven't already, make sure you join up to my SuperCoach footy tips. Got a few controversial picks there, so that'll be interesting, see if I actually go through with those ones. But anyway, the lead code is here, 563086. With Jason and Tony already in the league there, that's exciting. So hopefully we can get a few more of you guys in there before the season starts. But we'll jump into it, go into the team here. So I've gone on to ChatGPT basically, chucked in a whole bunch of names here, which is ridiculous. But so I basically just went on to the footy wire statistics here. Then I just got onto a Word document here, just got all the top 10 scores for each round, chucked it into ChatGPT so it can order it for me because I couldn't be bothered doing that. It would have taken way too long. So a few names there. So from the highest scores from last year, Luke Ryan was the number one guy. He scored 197. Then Brett Daniels, 195, which is interesting. Then a few guys that you would expect like Bont and Dacos up here. Jerry's up there as well, which is nice. Joel Amati, a bit of a random one. I think it was when he kicked like 10 goals, 182, so that would make sense. Bont's there again, so definitely need to be getting Bont in the team, it looks like. Blake Hardwick, bit of a random one. So there are a few random ones, some key forwards like Jake Waterman. He's probably going to get better this year. So you would imagine he would probably get another score like that. Then some other guys, some forwards. Nick Floston's in there. Which I've covered in one of my shorts, I believe. Just a few other random guys here. Then I basically just asked like who appears the most out of the top 10 scores for each round, and Heaney and Gawn are the first two guys, and Neil as well, that have 5 times appearing in the highest scores for the top 10 players of each round. So definitely didn't think that. Well, they'd definitely be around the mark, but they're actually pumping out some pretty nice scores there. So those guys might actually be in consideration for some players that we think about starting for the year as well, just off their previous stats. And then I asked it the highest scores for each player basically. So ChatGPT gave me the list here for the players that went above 170 plus the most. But yeah, they've got it must be averages as well, because there's 166 scores in there, so it's not above 170, but you get the gist of it, I guess. So the number one player from last year was Lachie Neale, so he got 197, 179, 168, and 166. So looking at the side, we've got Neale here. Just double check that's right, but I think it would be because I got the stats from Footy Wire. What's his highest one? 179, yeah. I think, the 168's there as well. The Gold Coast there, 162. So yeah, Neale, he's a bit older. Could start him if you want. He's got the early buy, so probably not, but definitely an upgrade target. He seems to just be one of the greatest players of the modern era. It looks like he could be in for another Brownlow, but he's getting a bit older, so probably unlikely. Then Gawn was second with 3 times. He got 180, 177, 162 there. So with the news about Sean Darcy coming out that he's going to undergo ankle surgery, maybe you just want to go with Gawn, just Mr. Consistent. He's pretty reliable. He's a bit older as well, so but yeah, he's got the number one ruck spot, so he should be a pretty safe bet there. But he's got the high ceiling, so definitely someone that is worth considering if you haven't already. Shouldn't be a surprise anyway. Luke Ryan was number 3, 197, 165, 156, and then Cherry, 185, his highest score. Bont was in there, number for 3 times as well, so he's got highest scores, consistent scores compared to these guys, you would say. He's got the 2 180s, so that's pretty nice. where the other guys just have the breakout games basically, and then it's like 160 and 150. So same with Dacos, not as like high of a ceiling as Bont obviously, but some nice scores there. Chad Warner's another guy. He's pretty interesting. He's had some massive games last year, 180, 172, 164 there. So he's someone that's actually just popped up onto my radar now. So I might actually have to look at him a bit closer. He's at a fairly decent price, and he's in the contract year as well. So, he's going to be, maybe he might be going to Freo. Who knows? You don't want to hear that if you're a Swans fan, but out of contract this year. So he's got to play well to prove that he's worth the money. So maybe he's someone that, you consider picking up. But then again, he does have the early buy, I believe. So just double check that. But at that price, is not a bad starting pick. And he's a bit of a pod as well. He's only in 2% of teams. He's got the round 3 buy. So it's a bit of a stitch up with the round 3 buy. Maybe it's a bit of a weird one. Do you want to grab him? Like, he hasn't got the highest scores against these two sides. Like 148 is his highest. He could be someone you probably aim to get in early, maybe. Is he a keeper is another thing. Maybe he is. But yeah, I think the Mills factor is maybe a bit of a concern there. Like, if Mills is going to be back in the midfield all year, he's probably not going to be having these high ceiling games anymore. Maybe that's the case with Heaney as well. So definitely something to look at. But yeah, I'll probably put Warner on my watch list for the moment. So Rowan Marshall, I probably would be starting Rowan Marshall, honestly, as my R1 or R2, but he's had some injury concerns over the preseason, so it seems unlikely. He does have a very nice fixture in terms of matchups for the ruck opponents. So I actually think he's got one of the better lineups. It's just like if he's going to be ready or not in time for round 1. But yeah, he's like one of those guys. Like, I want him, but with the interrupted preseason, it really just bothers me, and I probably won't go there. Probably will regret it if I do it. But yeah, that's Rowan Marshall. Butters is all the way down at 9th. But yeah, he's only getting better. So another guy you probably want to consider. I think that Bont is the guy to go for. Just pay up for him, and because they have the same buy, you'd probably just rather pay up for Bont and just not have to worry about not owning Bont. But he does have a really good bloody lineup. He's got North straight up, but North obviously going to be better this year. But I don't think they'll be able to tag him, so should go nuts. Like, look at these scores. Like, he scores all of his highest scores basically. Oh, there's like a 199 down there, but very nice starting fixture. Probably not going to get tagged as much, you would imagine, but now the news about Adam Treloar is not really going to help him there, so he might actually get tagged a fair bit more. But I just don't think like many teams have a player that same sort of size that can tag Bont. He's a bit taller and stuff. And then Dan Houston playing for Collingwood now, so he's got 2 times there for 170 plus or whatever. But then a few other guys here, like Jesse Hogan, just a forward, won the Coleman, so that makes sense for a few of those games. James Rowbottom's an interesting pick there. But yeah, so these are the guys with the highest ceilings, basically. Who would I consider? Luke Ryan, I probably would consider him, but with Jordan Clark, probably not. Dane Zorko, he's a bit of a pod. If you wanted a pod, that's not a bad shout. But he's turning 36, so probably unlikely for starting him. And then Dan Houston, I'd probably think there's other value options that I'd go for over him. Bont, I'm thinking about starting him at this point now. I've just had my arm twisted. I have to start him, basically. Butters, maybe you could start him, but in my opinion, I'd probably just rather one of the two and try and aim to get the other guy in, just because of the buy situation. But Sarong's probably someone else I'd start. Like, having like two of the three is probably the way to do it, I'd imagine, for starting selections. Neil's one of those guys, his buy does stitch you up there, so you probably don't want to pick him. And then Dacos, just with the interrupted preseason, probably not going to go there, but so we have to wait and see by round 1 with all the practice games and stuff. Then Heaney, he's a bit of a pod as well. It's just the factor of Warner going out of contract and probably playing a bit better, but Heaney's into his prime as well. Then you got Mills in there, Rowbottom as well. So not all of these guys are going to go well and get those high ceiling games again. And then we got Dawson here, who's a bit of a pod, I think. I think he's only in he's not in many teams, so just have a look real quick. Where is he? 3% of teams, so he's a pretty good value option there. Got a good buy as well, so don't mind Jordan Dawson there. So probably picking him over like a Heaney and Warner type of players. Bit cheaper as well, so that's nice. So yeah, Jordan Dawson, definitely a fair price. He's the main guy in the midfield. Will he get some attention? Will he be getting a bit of a tag? Not too sure about that. Haven't really looked fully at him yet, but I know he's got a pretty decent run for the first couple of rounds here. So yeah, it could be a point of difference there if you wanted to go with him. Not a bad selection there, but I think I'm more leaning towards the value options. Then Cherry's here as well. Do you go Cherry or Gawn? It's a bit of a hard one there. Maybe you go Gawn actually with the buy structure, but I think I prefer Cherry just because he's only getting better. He's a bit cheaper. Help get the money for like one of those more expensive top tier rookies. So that's probably the way I'd play it. And then Hogan, probably wouldn't really look at him. But yeah, we could have a quick look back at the high scores. So Brett Daniels had the 195 there. So that's an interesting one. Might have to have a look at him real quick. Luke Jackson's in there. So with the news that, Sean Darcy is not going to be playing, do you actually consider bringing in Luke Jackson now? That he'll probably get the number 1 ruck spot. Maybe they'll give it to one of the other guys, but who knows? They could give it to Jackson there. And then Brett Daniels is another guy. So these guys are already in the top 6 forwards. So, yeah, I don't know. It's like, who did he even score the 195 against? Freo. Doesn't play Freo for a while. Round 10. And then he's got the buy factor as well. So, probably not worth a start. Maybe someone you look at getting in later on. I think he's got upside in him. I think he could go up in price as well. So not a bad option, but he's got that buy, so it's a bit of a stitch up. And then Luke Jackson, he could probably go up in price as well. I think if he's going to be playing ruck for the first month, like he should be on track. The Cats don't have the best ruck in round 1, so he could go nuts, and then he could go nuts against Sydney. Oh, well, he's got Grundy as the opponent there, so maybe not. And then West Coast should be able to go for a big score. English, Nank, and Gawn, so that's a bit of a challenge there. Don't know how he'll go up against those guys, so probably not. And then, is he going to be a keeper is the other thing. You might just have him sitting at D6 for the whole year. Not whole year. Like there's other guys that are cheaper, better value options, so I'd probably give him a pass, but just to wait and see with the practice games. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this different sort of video. Let me know in the comments if you're considering any of these guys that, are flying under the radar a little bit, like Jordan Dawson and Chad Warner. Rowbottom as well is another guy. Bit of value attached to that. So maybe someone we actually consider looking at a bit closer throughout the season. He's got the proven ceiling there, but I think this year there's heaps of value options, so not too sure about these guys. I think I'd rather just go for the proven value guys that I've already done my research on. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you thought about this video, and can we actually be using AI to as a bit of a cheat code for SuperCoach in the future? Maybe there's systems that we can put in place with AI that we can have like proven probability outcomes and stuff. So will the game actually change? Is a bit of an interesting one. But but I don't think it's at that level yet. But yeah, definitely need to be exploring a bit more with the AI side of things on SuperCoach and see if it actually works out or not. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys, and hope you have a good one. See you later.